Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Captain Al, and today the video I have for you is step-by-step guide on how to apply for your F1 USA study visa. So the USA study visa, of course, as we know, is a visa route for you to study in the USA for whatever course it may be, postgraduate diploma, postgraduate certificate, MSc, undergrad, PhD, whatever the study may be, you'd require an F1 visa. Of course, not everyone requires an F1 visa, especially if your course is a short one. I think then 9 months or less. I stand to be corrected. But majority of people going to study in the US full time would require an F1 visa. So today I'm going to show you how to do that, and the major focus will be on filling the DS-160 form. So, of course, I'm gonna assume that you've already chosen a program at a university and they gave you an offer and you've accepted the offer. Before you fill the DS-160, you must have paid your service fee. That's the student exchange and visitor system fee. You complete the DS-160 form, schedule your interview, and attend your interview. So, like I said, the basic thing we're going to be talking about is how to fill the DS-160 form, because this is what I found out that majority of people have a problem with. And since I've gone through that process myself successfully before, I'm willing to share what I learned and how I did mine with you guys. And I must say, this is just for information purpose only. I am not an immigration expert. So, whatever information I give you, please do confirm for yourself. I'll try to be as accurate as possible. So, but the onus is on you to do your own research. Thank you very much. So, before we continue, can you quickly just go and subscribe? I've discovered that majority of the people who watch my videos do not subscribe. So, go like my other videos, watch them, comment if you have any question, and subscribe, please. The DS-160 form is a visa application form for non-immigrant visas, and that includes all these short-term visas like the study visa, the what's it called, the visit visa, whether it is for tourism or for business. So this is an electronic form you complete online and send to the consulate. So how do we fill the DS-160? Where do we access it from? So you access DS-160 from the United States Consular website, which is ceac.state.gov. So that's the Consular Electronic Applications Center or something like that. So let's go to the website. Okay, it's loading. Okay, now here we are. So as you can see, it's an online non-immigrant visa application form, and you have some FAQs here. If you have any information, please do. If you need any more information, just click on it and it will bring you up to speed. So you can see that it can only be accessed on 3 browsers only. That's the Google Chrome, the Edge, or the Firefox. So if you're using Safari or whatever you may be using that is different from these three, you will not be able to access it. Then you have to gather all the documents that you need, your I-20, your passport, your current passport, passport photograph, which has a particular dimension. We'll mention that later. So let's not take too much time. Let's get straight into it. So to start, first things first, select a location where you will be applying for the visa. So for the purpose of this visa, I'll be applying from Lagos, Nigeria, because I know a lot of my viewers are from Africa, and it's basically the same process whether you're in Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, whichever country it may be, China, it doesn't matter. It's the same process. So you start by selecting location. So I'm going to scroll down to Nigeria and let's choose Lagos. Then the security, okay, it's gonna load and show a security code to enter to confirm that I'm actually a human. And you want to start application. If you have an application before and you have an application ID, you click on retrieve an application. But since we do not have one now, let us start the application. Okay, yes, so it's going to bring some information about Computer Fraud and Abuse Act notices. So read through that and understand it, accept. Now, over here, you see your application ID. This is very, very important. So if you, for any reason, have to come back to your application, you did that ID. So you can put it somewhere safe. You write it down and note it down. So date of yeah, so this is it, and date of application is 28th of March 2023. So for you to continue, you have to give a security question. So this is when you log out and you have to log back in to make sure that nobody else is accessing your account. So you have to give a security question, and there are a couple of questions you can choose from. So whichever one rocks your boat. I'll go with the default one. What is the given name of your mother's mother? So let's go for gaming. Okay, so the DS160 has several sections, and as you can see on this side, we have the personal 1, personal 2. We will see it when we move on. We have the travel section, the travel companions, previous US travel, that's the previous US travel history if you have any, address and phone, passport, US contact, family, work, education, training, security, and background. Then you find that there's some additional information after the security and background. We'll get to it. So another important thing you have to note, of course, your application ID is always up here. The form number to see that you're actually filling the correct form, DS160, check. The expiration date for this is the 31st of March 2023, and the estimated burden, that's the time it should take, or on average what it takes for people to complete this form. We're going to do that much more quickly. We'll run through it as fast as we can. So another thing I need you to note is that you have the information here and you have help on the side. So it gives an explanation of whatever is here. As you can see, you have the surname here and it's giving you the enter all surnames as listed in your passport, which is very critical. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I always insist on this. Always make sure you write your name as it appears on your international passport. Please do not interchange them. Your surname is your surname, your given name, that's your first name, then your middle name. But however it appears on your international passport. So let's just get right into his surname. Let's do Captain Al. Given name, you can do Al. And the full name in native alphabet. So as you can see, if your passport does not include a given name, please enter full name in given name. So full name in native alphabet does not apply for us. Have you ever used any other name? So if you change your name for whatever purpose, you choose whichever is appropriate to you. Do you have a telecode that represents your name? No. Your sex? So you choose male. Marital status. So I'll just go for single. If you're married, of course, you put married there, and it will bring some additional information that you have to fill. Your spouse information. So date and place of birth. So date of birth, let's go with 1st of January. We can do 1990. Okay, it's already pre-filled. And city, yeah, let's go with Ikeja, Lagos. And country, Lagos is in Nigeria. And so one thing, guys, always make sure you fill everything. You cannot leave anything on fill, or it would pop up an error saying you have to fill it. So everything must be filled. So what you have to do, you have to save it so that if you need to come back to it at a later date, you can always access it. And remember, you need your application ID, you need that security question, and your, I think it's surname to log back in. So keep those information safe. So I'm not going to click on save. I'll just run through it since I want to complete everything right now. So we're going to the second personal information. So your nationality, I'm Nigerian. Do you hold or have held any nationality other than the one indicated above? No. Are you a permanent resident of a country other than your country of origin? No. Then your national identification number. I don't know I don't know what it's called in other countries, but I know in Nigeria it's called NIN, national identification number. So if you have that, you just put it in. Social security number, you don't have that. And remember, if you do not have any of this information, you have to choose does not apply. If you don't do that, it will flag it. So US taxpayer ID number, we do not have that. So let's go, and we're done with the personal section. Let's go to travel. Here we are at the travel section. So a purpose of trip to the US. Okay, so we know it's going to be a study visa, so we'll run through it. So it's academic or language student, that's F. So F1. F2 means dependent of the F1 visa holder. So as you can see, child of an F1, F2, that's the type of visa you'd apply for. Spouse, same thing, F2. But since you're the main applicant, which the student, you choose F1. Have you made specific travel plans? Most likely not, because you're just applying for your visa. Then intended date of arrival, we're just going to put a month before our course start date. So if let's assume the course is starting 1st of September 2023, so we choose 1st of August. And intended length of stay, we masters will go for 2 years. If it's longer than that, please put that. If it's PhD, you have to put 4 years. If it's undergrad, I think that's 4 years also. So whatever the length of stay is, you can put it in years, you can put it in weeks, you can put it in days, months, whatever works best for you. So, and address where you will stay in the US. So I mean, this may be your first line of address, let's say a hotel or something, or if you have someone you're staying with, you put their address. So city, let's go in Titusville. The state, that's Florida. If you know the zip code, you put in the zip code. If you do not know, then next. Person, entity paying for your trip. If it's self-funded, you pick self. Other, if it's any other person, maybe your parent or or guardian, you put that. You choose other person. If it's employer in the US, other company or organization, whatever applies to you, you put it. And if you are choosing something else, it will bring another drop down option to put the information of the person paying for the trip. Now, travel companions. So persons traveling with you, if you're a married person, of course you have people traveling with you, so you choose yes. But for the purpose of this, you're going to choose no. And if you choose yes, it's going to bring another drop down option where you put the information of people traveling with you. So the application is quite straightforward, and whatever you need, just remember there's always information by the side. Okay. Also, previous US travel information. Have you ever been to the US? We're gonna choose no. Again, if you choose yes, another drop down option to put in the information, your visa number, how long you stayed in the US, when you entered, when you left. Have you ever been issued a US visa? So this one doesn't matter what type of visa it is. So far as you were issued a US visa at one point, you have to choose yes and put in that type of visa. If it's the B1, B2 visa, the J visa, EB2, whatever it may be, you put it. Have you ever been refused a US visa? If you have, you choose yes, and if not, no. Immigration petition, no. I mean, everything is specific to an individual, so whatever it's specific to your situation, you choose accordingly. So address, home address, that's your present address. So I mean, we're going to use Lagos. Ikeja, state is Lagos. Zip code does not apply. If you know the zip code, please put it. The more accurate, the better. Now your mailing address, if it's the same as your home address, then you choose yes. If not, choose no, and you another drop down menu for you to fill in the address. So primary phone number, you put it. If you have a secondary phone number, you put. If not, does remember to always choose the does not apply. Have you ever used any other phone number in the last 5 years? If you have, you choose yes. If not, no. And email address, so you put in your email address, a functional email address. Have you ever used any other email address? If yes, if no, select no and continue. Then social media, if you have a social media identifier, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, I think YouTube, whatever it may be, you put it. And if you don't have any, you choose none. Do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other website? If you are on any other website, maybe like Quora, Reddit, or whatever, you put it there, and it may need you to give your ID or something just for them to run a background check on you. Passport, you see, I mean, we're almost halfway through. It doesn't take time, guys. So you can do this thing yourself. There's no point paying an agent that will eventually make a mistake in your application because he has so many people he's dealing with. So it's straightforward. What type of passport do you have? Chances are you have a regular passport. If you have an official or diplomatic one, select as required your passport number. You put it accurately, please. If your passport has a book number, you put that. If it doesn't, does not apply. Issuing authority, Nigeria. That one is pre-filled. Where was the passport issued? Ikeja, Lagos. Then issuance date. Of course, your passport must have at least 6 months validity on it. I know some countries would require you to have a passport that covers the entire time of your stay in that country. Okay, expiration. Okay, it's a 5-year visa. So, have you ever lost a passport or had one stolen? For this, no. Now, US contact. So, your point of contact would, as a student, would most likely be your, excuse me, please, would most likely be like the student admin at the university, and you would get all of this information on your I-20. So you put the name, you put in the organization name, let's say University of Florida. Relationship to you, you choose, and you put in the address, if you know the zip code, put in the zip code, the phone number you put, and email address if you have the email address, which I mean, it's important you have the email address in case they need to contact that person. So the next, the family information. So you have to put information of your parents. So let's start with that of the father, Cecily Hernandez, a plane. So you put in your your father's information. Is your father in the US? If yes, yes. If no, select as appropriate. So our date of birth, let's just choose something random, and all the names are put in. You can say that they're just random names anyway, not affiliated with anyone at all. Is your mother in the US? No. Do you have any immediate relative? Now, immediate relative are your parents, your brothers and sisters. You can always find all the information you need by the side. So it's either your fiance, your spouse, son or daughter, siblings. So if you have any, you select yes, and it would require to put in more information. Now, do you have any other relative? Okay, now this is talking about, let's say you have uncles, you have aunties, you have cousins, then you put that information in. Okay, present work education. If you're a student with no experience, so you just search, go down, look for student, and if you've been employed, you put in your sector and fill in your employment details. So present employer or school name, let's say Ikeja School. If you know the postcode, please put in as appropriate. The phone number, put in, because they may need to contact to ascertain that the information you provided is accurate. So now if you have a monthly income in local currency, remember in local currency, so you put that in. If not, and also briefly describe your duties. So excuse me once again. So as a student, you can just put in, you have to put in briefly or your status. So if you've been employed, you just put the employment details. Not too long, just very concise, straight to the point. You don't have time to be reading paragraphs. So you just put, I just currently not employed. Just if you don't put any information, like I said, you can't leave any space blank. If you do not put any information, it's going to flag it. So you have to make sure you put info. And of course, it actually helps, especially if you have like an employment gap or something like that. You can just detail it here. Next, and so work. Were you previously employed? No. Have you attended any institution at the secondary or higher, at the secondary level or above? You put yes, you put no, but I'll just put no for this, just to make the video as short as possible. Of course, you choose yes, then it will tell you to put in your your information, like length of time, equivalence to the US curriculum, just basically all your secondary school information, or if you have a diploma, A level, whatever it is, secondary and above, you put that in. Okay, additional work education and training information. Do you belong to a clan or tribe? A tribe, if you're from Nigeria or Africa, chances are you belong to a clan. So whatever it is, I am. So you can choose Yoruba or Hausa or whatever. If you speak a language, you pick that. Have you traveled to any country region within the last 5 years? They just want to check if you've been to, any other country, and they'll probably just run a quick background check on that to see how you stay, what you did, and all that. I don't know. I'm just, uh, it's just my opinion though. So specialized skill, if you have, please put in. Served in military, put in. paramilitary, vigilante, rebel group, guerrilla group, insurgent, put as appropriate. Then next, we go to security background. Now we have part 1 to 5 because security is important to every country and they want to make sure everyone they are letting into their border have passed the baseline security check. So this one, communicable disease, if you have, put in. And I mean, choosing yes doesn't necessarily mean, and it's somewhere here also doesn't necessarily mean that your visa application will be denied. You might have to just have a special interview with a consular officer. Uh, Drug abuser, addict, and if you choose yes, they will tell you to put in more information. Then depending on the information you put, how specific, how accurate it is, then they'll may choose to ignore it or choose to do further checks on that. Say just security questions. It's just straightforward. I'm not gonna read everything out, but you get the gist. It's super straightforward. It's a yes or no question, so there's no ambiguity there. No. Terrorist organization, no. Have you ever ordered, incited, committed? Yeah. Genocide, no. We strongly discourage that. Okay. I mean, these are just security questions. Yes or no, straight to the point. And I like the way they did it. I mean, you don't have to start writing lots of stories. We've got part 4 of the security and background. So, have you ever sought to obtain or assist others to obtain a visa entering the United States? Fraud or rule for me is representation. No. Have you ever been removed or deported from any country? Now, take note, it said any country. So if you've ever been deported from any country, please say yes and explain why. Because there's information sharing between countries. So if you've been deported at one point, you might have been flagged. So if you answer no, while they know that you've been deported before, so that's going to be an issue. So it's always best to be fully honest about all your information, and each application is unique. So uh, past applications usually do not have a bearing on the new one. So please be honest, be truthful in your application. You don't want to be caught lying, you don't want to get banned. This section is additional point of contact. So they want you to list to contact in your country of residence who can verify the information that you have provided on this application. Do not list immediate family members or other relatives. Postal office box numbers are unacceptable. So just fill in the information. Just put this. And we're almost done, guys. You see, it doesn't take time. So of course you'd have the phone number and the email address, and I don't want to fill in so much information. So okay, let's do a schedule here. Oh, let's do does not apply here, does not apply. Of course, it's gonna apply for your application, so fill as necessary, guys. Our telephone number, you put in the person's telephone number and their email address, and it's important you choose someone whose email is usually reasonably active, someone who checks their email often in case they get sent an email for like character reference or something like that. So service information, service you find out also on your I-20, and from this point on we can't continue because I do not have an active service ID. The one I had has expired. So yeah, next is photo. That's your passport photograph, and there's a requirement for that. It has to be 2 inches or 50 millimeters. It has to be a colored photograph, white or off-white. It's always best to go with white. You don't want them using an off-white background that will appear yellow or something, and it will now get rejected. Then it has to show your full face, and note for people who cover their faces using hijab or whatever. Um, Make sure all your face is showing. Just make sure all your face is showing, that they can see your face clearly. And the picture, the passport photograph must have been taken within the previous 6 months, so maximum 6 months. So that's it, guys. And after you're done, it will give you to bring out a form with a barcode with your passport photograph on it, and that's what you use to book your visa interview. Of course, booking the interview, you have to pay the interview fee, which usually is about $160, depending on the visa you're applying for. So you can always get all the information you need on the US Department of State website. So thank you very much, guys, and thank you for watching this video. I hope it hasn't been too long. So if you have any suggestion for a video you want me to make, please comment it below. If you have any questions about this particular video, comment also. And if you've enjoyed this the video so far, please subscribe, please like, please comment. Give me your feedback so I can know the areas I need to improve on. Thank you very much for staying this long, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.